future critical thinkers, ever feel like you're just going with the flow, believing everything you see and hear? It's time to level up your brain game and unlock the power of critical thinking. Think of it as a superpower that helps you navigate this crazy world with a whole lot more savvy. Critical thinking is all about analyzing information objectively, like a detective solving a case. It's about questioning everything, even if it seems totally obvious. And trust me, sometimes the most obvious stuff is actually a big pile of nope. Critical thinking is the key to making smart decisions, solving problems like a boss, and understanding the world around you. Now, let's talk about the importance of thinking for yourself. We live in a world where everyone's got an opinion, from your Aunt Carol on Facebook to that random guy yelling on the subway. It's easy to get caught up in the echo chamber and just blindly follow the crowd. But that's how you end up a sheeple, my friend. Form your own opinions based on facts, logic, and a healthy dose of skepticism. All right, detective, time to channel your inner Sherlock Holmes. Critical thinking is all about asking the right questions, just like a detective grilling a suspect. Don't just accept things at face value. Dig deeper, sniff around, and separate the facts from the fiction. One of the first things you gotta master is identifying assumptions. Assumptions are like those pesky fruit flies that show up uninvited and buzz around your head. They're often hidden, but they can totally mess with your conclusions. So, put on your detective hat and ask yourself, what am I assuming here? Now, let's talk about facts, friends. Facts are like the foundation of a house. Without them, everything crumbles faster than a cookie in a toddler's hand. In this age of instant information and social media mayhem, it's easier than ever to get swept away by a tidal wave of misinformation. That's why it's crucial to develop your fact-checking skills. When you come across a claim, especially online, don't just blindly accept it. Verify it. Check multiple sources, look for evidence, and be wary of anything that seems too good to be true. Pay attention to the source of information. Always consider the source's credibility and potential biases. Okay, let's talk about the mysterious they. You know, the ones who are always up to something, controlling everything from the government to the price of your morning coffee? Yeah, those they. One of the biggest traps people fall into is blindly believing everything they say. But here's the thing. They is often a vague and undefined entity used to spread rumors, fear, and misinformation. When you hear someone say, well, they say that eating pineapple on pizza is a crime against humanity, it's time to put on your critical thinking hat and ask, who are they? Are they culinary experts, pizza chefs, or just a bunch of pineapple-hating trolls on the internet? Don't let the elusive they dictate your beliefs or your pizza toppings. You're smarter than that. All right, folks, enough theory. Let's get practical. You wouldn't expect to run a marathon without training, right? Well, critical thinking is no different. It's a mental muscle that needs regular exercise to stay in tip-top shape. One of the best ways to sharpen your mind is to engage in activities that challenge you to think outside the box. Puzzles, brain teasers, and logic games are like mental push-ups for your critical thinking skills. Ever tried Sudoku? It's like mental yoga, but instead of contorting your body, you're flexing your cognitive muscles. Another great exercise is to analyze arguments like a lawyer dissecting a witness's testimony. Break down the argument into its core components: the claim, the evidence, and the reasoning. Speaking of arguments, one of the best ways to develop your critical thinking skills is to channel your inner debater. Now, I'm not talking about starting arguments with your family over Thanksgiving dinner. I'm talking about engaging in respectful, thought-provoking discussions with people who hold different views than your own. Remember, the goal here isn't to win the argument or prove the other person wrong. It's about expanding your perspective, challenging your own assumptions, and sharpening your critical thinking skills through civil discourse. Think of it as a mental sparring session where both participants come out stronger and more intellectually nimble. Now here's a little secret about critical thinking. It's not always about finding the right answer. Sometimes the most critical thinkers are the ones who are comfortable with ambiguity and uncertainty. In a world of black and white, they're not afraid to embrace the gray areas. Life is rarely simple or straightforward. Most issues are complex and multifaceted, with no easy answers. Critical thinking involves acknowledging this complexity and resisting the urge to oversimplify or jump to conclusions. It's about accepting that sometimes the most honest answer is, it depends. Okay, time to bring this critical thinking thing to life because let's be real, nobody wants to be stuck in a boring lecture. Imagine this. You're scrolling through your social media feed and you see a post claiming that drinking unicorn tears cures the common cold. Do you, A, immediately book a flight to the nearest enchanted forest, or B, put on your critical thinking hat and investigate? If you chose B, congrats, you're on your way to becoming a critical thinking rock star. First, check the source. Is it a reputable medical journal or just your friend's cousin who claims to have a pet unicorn? Let's talk about fashion for a minute, because why not? Have you ever noticed how trends come and go faster than your patience during a slow Wi-Fi day? The fashion industry thrives on our desire to fit in, to be in the know, and to express ourselves through our clothing choices. But here's the thing. Following trends blindly is the opposite of critical thinking. It's about letting others dictate your style, your choices, and even your self-worth. Critical thinking means questioning why you're drawn to certain trends and feeling confident enough to rock your own unique look. Okay, let's get real for a minute. We live in a world where scammers are lurking around every corner, like digital pickpockets trying to steal your hard-earned cash and your sanity. From phishing emails promising you $1 million to shady online stores selling knockoff designer goods, it's easier than ever to fall victim to a scam. But fear not, dear friends, because critical thinking is your secret weapon against these digital con artists. Think of it as your mental shield, deflecting their deceptive tactics and protecting your precious resources. When something seems too good to be true, it probably is. Before you click on that suspicious link, hand over your credit card information, or invest in your long-lost relative's once-in-a-lifetime business opportunity, take a deep breath and engage your critical thinking skills. All right, folks, let's talk about the ultimate superpower, thinking for yourself. We live in a world where everyone's got an opinion, from your yoga instructor to that random guy on Twitter who calls himself a thought leader. It's like a never-ending buffet of advice, and it's easy to get overwhelmed and just start grabbing whatever looks tastiest. But here's the thing. Just because someone sounds smart, confident, or has a huge following doesn't mean they're right. Independent thinking means taking responsibility for your own beliefs. It means questioning everything, even the stuff that seems obvious or that everyone else seems to believe. Remember that time everyone thought it was cool to wear those pants with the pockets that zipped off? Or when everyone was obsessed with that game where you flung birds at pigs? Trends come and go, folks, and that includes trends in thinking. Just because everyone's jumping on a particular bandwagon doesn't mean you have to join the parade. The herd mentality is powerful. We're social creatures and we're hardwired to fit in. But following the crowd blindly can lead you down some pretty questionable paths. Remember, critical thinking is about being an independent thinker, not a mindless follower. Challenge your own beliefs and be open to the possibility that you might be wrong. The more you practice independent thinking, the more confident and empowered you'll become. So there you have it, future critical thinkers. You've made it through an incredible journey. We've journeyed through the ins and outs of critical thinking. From its importance in this crazy world to practical ways to level up your brain game. It's like upgrading your mental software to version 2.0. Remember, critical thinking isn't just some boring concept you learned in school. It's a life skill, like knowing how to change a tire or navigate through a new city without getting lost. Or perfectly roast a marshmallow to that golden brown perfection. Think about it. Critical thinking helps you make smarter decisions, whether you're choosing a career path, planning your next big move, deciding what to have for dinner, or even planning a special meal for someone you care about, or figuring out if that online dating profile is legit. It's about making informed choices in every aspect of your life. It's about not just accepting things at face value, but questioning, analyzing, and understanding the deeper meaning behind the information you encounter. It's like digging a little deeper, like you're searching for buried treasure, uncovering hidden gems of knowledge and insight. And hey, let's be real. Life can throw some curveballs your way. Unexpected challenges and surprises are part of the journey. Critical thinking helps you navigate those challenges with a clear head and a healthy dose of skepticism, ensuring you stay on the right path. Like a mental ninja warrior ready to take on any obstacle course, you're equipped to handle whatever comes your way with agility and confidence. Section 2. Unleash your inner rebel. Question everything. One of the most important things to remember about critical thinking is that it's all about questioning everything, even if it seems totally obvious or everyone else believes it. It's about digging deeper, looking beyond the surface, and not taking things at face value. Don't be afraid to be a little rebellious, to challenge the status quo, to think outside the box. It's this kind of thinking that leads to innovation and progress. Think of it like this. If everyone else jumped off a bridge, would you? This classic question is a reminder to think for yourself and not just follow the crowd blindly. Hopefully not, unless it was a bungee jumping bridge, and even then, you'd probably want to check the safety regulations first. Always question the safety and the logic behind actions, even if they seem thrilling or popular. Remember those experts we talked about? They have a wealth of knowledge, but that doesn't mean they're infallible. Yeah, sometimes even they get it wrong. They make mistakes, they have biases, and they can overlook things. They're human, just like us. They learn from their mistakes and grow. And so should we. So don't be afraid to question their assumptions, their methods, their conclusions. It's through this process that we refine our understanding and make progress. Think of it like a friendly debate where everyone gets to share their ideas and challenge each other to think more critically. It's not about winning an argument, but about expanding our perspectives. And hey, don't forget to question your own beliefs too. Self-reflection is a crucial part of critical thinking. We all have biases, we all make assumptions, and sometimes we just plain get things wrong. Acknowledging this is the first step towards growth. It's part of being human. Embrace your mistakes as learning opportunities. The important thing is to be open to the possibility that you might be wrong, to be willing to change your mind when presented with new evidence, and to never stop learning and growing. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep pushing the boundaries of your understanding. Section 3. Go forth and think critically. As we wrap up this critical thinking adventure, remember this. It's not a one-time thing like binge-watching your favorite show. It's not something you do once and then forget about. It's an ongoing process, a lifelong journey of questioning, exploring, and expanding your mind. Every book you read, every conversation you have, and every new experience you encounter adds to your critical thinking toolkit. Think of it like a mental workout routine. The more you exercise those critical thinking muscles, the stronger and more resilient they become. Just like physical fitness, mental fitness requires regular practice and dedication. So go forth and think critically. Embrace the challenges and opportunities that come your way. Question everything, challenge assumptions, and don't be afraid to think for yourself. It's through this process that innovation and progress are made. The world needs more critical thinkers like you, People who are willing to look beyond the surface, to seek out the truth, and to make the world a more informed and enlightened place. Your unique perspective and insights can drive meaningful change. Remember, you have the power to change the world, one critical thought at a time. Each decision you make, each problem you solve, contributes to a better future. Now go out there and make us proud. Your journey of critical thinking is just beginning, and the possibilities are endless.